Any more old business?
I have a couple of things.
Okay.
And I'm reading this because I did a lot of thinking on it. On Monday, January the 8th, at the work session, which is open to the public, I had asked for a copy of a letter that was read to this meeting, to these members, and the conversation went as follows. I stated, may I get a copy of that letter? And Mayor Craig responded yes, but under what circumstances? And wanted to know why I wanted a copy, and I replied for my records, just to keep track of everything. And Mayor Craig responded that what is discussed in this room stays in this room. If they, the public, are not participants in this room and they ask or request information, we should not share it outside of this room. And I quoted that I was not sharing the information with anyone. It was just a copy for my records. And Mayor Craig quoted, we as a whole party should not share. Didn't say Kawahna specifically. I will send this to Jody and she can make copies for anyone who wants them. I don't hide anything from anybody. And I replied, thank you. Now, my first issue with this was, as a member of council, I'm entitled to a copy of anything that pertains to this council and Iron Gate, just basically under the Freedom of Information Act. I am allowed to ask for that, and I shouldn't be questioned as to why I want it. The second issue I have on this is that the work session on January 8th was just that. It was a work session. Anything that was discussed could be overheard by anyone that was there, and there were people there from the community. The reference that Mayor Craig said that what is discussed in this room stays in this room, that is wrong. And we shouldn't be told that in any instance, simply for the fact that that's going to give the impression that council has something to hide, or that we're not being truthful and upfront with the residents, and we do not need that at all. We've already got enough on our plate. We don't need the backstabbing issue that we are not telling the truth or that we're hiding something. And the third issue that I have, that was on January the 3rd, I sent out a text message to Mayor Craig and all the council stating that we should have a closed session before the work session of January the 8th to discuss options for this town. And I received no response. And then during the work session, Mayor Craig clearly stated that he received my text message, but he chose to ignore it. And that he did state he polled the other council members to see if they thought a closed meeting was needed. And apparently everyone else voted that it was not needed. So choosing not to reply or answer my text was rude. Could have said, hey, we're so close to the work session, we'll hold it till then, or I got it, but I don't think we need it. But to be completely ignored was completely wrong. And then to blatantly state in a recorded work session that you just ignored it, that's just a bad work ethic, just straight across the board.
I didn't ignore it. I acted up on it. I just chose not to call you back and argue with you.
Well,
so that's not ignoring.
It doesn't matter whether you like me or not. I'm still part of it.
I didn't say I didn't like you, Kawahna. I just wasn't going to argue about it.
And you're not going to mow over me either.
And you're not going to bully me neither.
Well, that's your job, not mine.
You're exactly right, and I'm going to do my job.
No, I mean the bully part.
All right.
I'm still.
Well, let me address right now the conversation from January the 1st. Mayor and Council, good morning, and welcome to 2024. As many of you know, Clifton Forge has called a council meeting on December 31st and had a called council meeting December 31st to discuss Jared Jenkins. It was a closed meeting, but after coming back into the session, Clifton Forge Council voted to place Jared on unpaid leave of absence until his misconduct case can be settled. I think we as council members should be proactive and have a called meeting this week to discuss the issue. Well, The issue with Clifton Forge and Jared is not Iron Gate's issue with Jared. So therefore, I'm not going to discuss anything that's going on in another town.
Well, then you missed
But-
it completely.
Well, going on. The Allegheny Journal can be notified tomorrow or desired to have the meeting. And advertise the meeting Thursday, January 4th at 7 p.m. Iron Gate has not paid Jared for several months now. My concern is that with no income from Clifton Forge, he's going to ask for what amount is due to him from Iron Gate Council. Council needs to determine, Council needs to determine how and where that money will come from. Speaking strictly for myself, just yourself, that's fine. I do not wish to be included in the letter of support for Jared. I understand that what he has done for Iron Gate and a great service by way of his salary requirements. For that I'm grateful. However, I question some of his actions and cannot wholeheartedly give him my support. I welcome your thoughts and concerns on this delicate matter. I am not sure how the Allegheny Journal receives this information, but posted today was a comment that Jared had tendered his resignation from Clifton Forge. So, I took that one as, since Clifton Forge decided to hold a closed meeting, that we need to hold a closed meeting. I don't do things because other people do it. This is me taking it. Let me finish. I'll let you finish. Now I'm going to finish. So I took it at that. I called the rest of the council members to see if everybody else needed. If council members, and I even told each one of you, if you feel we need to have a closed session, I will call a closed session. If the majority wants it. The majority did not want it, said they did not need it. So I let it go. I let it rest. We addressed it at the work session. So it wasn't ignoring you. It wasn't not replying to it. I done my due diligence and I done what I needed to do. I informed other council of it because I had council member asking me what was going on about it. And I acted upon it. I don't feel that I did anything wrong, anything biased, anything out of the way. And I'll stand behind my decision.
Well, you misread the text because I was not wanting to discuss what happened between Clifton Forge and Jared because, again, that is none of our concern. What I wanted to discuss was, if this happens to Jared, what's Iron Gate going to do? If this happens to Jared, what's Iron Gate going to do? We needed to have a plan of action so we're not sitting here trying to twiddle our thumbs and figure things out, which is about where we're at now.
Well, why didn't you bring it up that we have a closed session tonight then? Before all this happened then, at the work session?
Because you just mentioned we were having a closed session.
At that time, we wasn't, no.
No, but I wanted to jump the gun and discuss it.
And I didn't. I didn't feel the need to jump the gun.
Okay. So we'll deal with it tonight.
Yes, ma'am, we will.
Fine.
What else you got for me?
Not a thing.
Okay.